every day.
Good morning.
What a beautiful day this is. The winter days, even though they're getting colder and seemingly shorter in terms of sunlight, they are also getting more beautiful. I don't know how they're managing all of that, but of course, as I remind you from time to time, the hows are never up to us. I'm Reverend Ann Ray, and I have the privilege of being part of and that means the loving presence within loving presences that are this community. You know, this community doesn't happen every day. I mean, we happen every day. Don't mistake that. But the depth of caring that happens in this community, the genuine connections that happen in this community are very precious and life-affirming and really an outward expression of what it is that we believe. And I recognize that there is someone joining us today who I think I've seen once before when Charlie was here. And even though all of the rest of us in the room know, I want to make sure that, bless you on the truth already, that everybody is reminded that ours is a philosophy. It is not a religion. That we don't busy ourselves with telling people, God bless you again on the truth, telling people what to believe. We busy ourselves with knowing what is ours to do in conjunction with life itself, in harmonious conjunction with life itself, to co-create the lives that it is that we desire to live. The vibrant, radiant, healthy, joyful, productive, contributing, etc., 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 lives that we choose to live. And so today, as we put a bow on, whoopsie daisies.
Just water.
It's just water. You know, nobody says whoopsie daisies anymore. It's one of my favorite movie lines in the world. Nobody says whoopsie daisies anymore. I do. So today we're putting a bow on November 2025. And we're doing it with flourish. We're doing it with panache. Nobody says panache. And we're talking about, thank you, Joseph. We're talking about something wonderful this way comes. Now, can anyone tell me where that line originated and what what the word is in its original, as an original statement, what the word is that would replace wonderful.
Wicked.
And where does it come from?
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Why not? Good guess. Something wicked this way comes.
Macbeth, right?
Where does it come from?
Macbeth?
Macbeth. That's right.
Darla?
Came from Macbeth. But something wonderful this way comes is also, I mean, it doesn't go back to Shakespeare, but it also has legitimate lineage. And as we look at the life that it is that we are actively co-creating, that we are actively choosing instead of waiting to have happen. Because our life doesn't just happen. Did you know that? Our life doesn't just happen. Now, stuff happens, and stuff that happens just happens. But then we get to choose our response to it. We get to choose whether or not the stuff that's happening is even worth paying any attention to, or what level of attention we want to pay to it. We get to choose who we are in the face of anything. And part of choosing to remember who we are in the face of anything is to remember our essential self. Because our essential self doesn't change. Our external self changes. Our human self changes. But our essential self does not change. Our essential self, even though we may feel ill at ease about something, or anxiety about something, or discomfort about something, or concern about something, or all of the above, our essential self is like this. And I don't mean flat, I mean steady. Our essential self is always the very center, core, base, foundation of peace. Our essential self is always the very center, core, base, foundation of clarity, of ease, of grace. But we don't always invite the committee to go to lunch. And the committee is what I refer to, as you all know, as the chatterbox that happens up here. Also called by other teachers monkey mind and so on. But to me, it's not just one voice. It's lots of voices that have lots to say. And each one of them wants to be the authority on me. They exactly so, and exactly what's wrong with it, and exactly how to handle it, and exactly why I don't know what I'm doing. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard? To have a committee in our heads that has authority. My gosh! And who gave them that authority? We did. And we do. Because they sound like the boss. And we all grew up as good little kids, right? Behaving ourselves.
Yep.
Not speaking unless spoken to. And by being spoken to, I mean being invited to speak. So that we march, at least occasionally still, because I know that we do it less, that we continue to march to the dictates of the committee is understandable, but when are we going to change our story? When are we going to decide that we are no longer our past?
Mm-hmm.
Now wait, I'm not saying that our past isn't important. I'm not saying that our past hasn't contributed significantly to who we are today, actually in really good ways. And we are the people we are
Today.
today. Hello? When are we new? When are we new?
Every day.
Hello? We are new every day. Now, what's interesting about that is that we are literally, scientifically new every day. But we aren't necessarily new every day in the way we behave,
Mm-hmm.
in the things we believe, in the things we choose. Because between the committee and our story, there's all this activity going on that says otherwise. And what's weird about that is it doesn't know about being new. It only knows what it knows, and if it already knows it, where does it know it from?
The past.
The past.
The past.
Jeepers, creepers. I know you guys are all awake. I'm looking into your eyes, and I'm hearing one little voice over here and one little voice over there. Where do we know it from? The past. So, what I suggest we do is we go ahead, we strap on our big person pants, and we look our past in the eye and we say, okay, show me your value. Show me what you're still bringing to me that is of value. Because I want to treasure that. I want to treasure what you are still giving to me that is of value. And the rest can go with the other things, with all the books that I am still swearing someday I'm going to read, with all of the books I have read, with all of the considerable treasures that I have collected over the years but I can no longer find room for in my house, that all goes in my library. Where is my library? Up here. And it's quite beautiful. Because I want all of that to be housed in beauty. Particularly the parts that were not housed in beauty when they happened.
Mhm.
I want to give them beauty. Because I have the capacity to do that. I want to give them love because I have the capacity to do that. But I will not be that story anymore. Because that story no longer serves me.
Mhm.
That story is made up of a lot of outfits I used to wear. And I'm sort of into outfits. A lot of outfits that I used to wear that don't fit. They don't fit who I am today. And as we make those decisions, as we lovingly invite our past to show us, to shine its light on whatever value it truly delivers today, and then to move to this comfy, beautiful place where it can just rest and not have to be dragged around anymore, because that's what we do with it,
Mhm.
is we haul it around. And meanwhile, we're trying to grow into this person who lives a new life.
Mhm.
Something wonderful this way comes. And it's ours to allow it. Because it isn't that we are denied anything wonderful. In fact, it is pushing itself upon us, as Ernest Holmes would say. It is doing everything that it can to get into our attention and into our acceptance and into our awareness. But it can't. Because we can only experience what we can embody. And by embodiment, I mean receive, accept, allow, embrace, open to, say yes to. You know, we may even think we're saying yes while we're doing our prayer work or we're having other people do affirmative work for us. And inside, where the past is still running some of the show, it's going, oh no, you can't have that. You can't have a simple resolution to that, because that never happens. I love it when someone says, but, you know, that never happens. Okay, but what if it did?
Mhm.
What if that great good thing, that easy resolution, that simplified, gorgeous, fabulous miracle just unfolded right before you as if it had been made for you? Which of course it has
Mhm.
already. And so it's up to us then, right? Because if life is leaning into us with all of its good, all of its good, and just leaning in and saying, come on, come play with me. Open to me. Allow me. Allow life. Allow something wonderful this way to come. Ooh. What if that's really happening? Not just something I'm saying. What if that's really happening? And we're going, no, it's okay. It's all right. I'm good. I can't handle it if it gets too good. Okay. Do you know that for sure? Do you know for sure that if it gets, it being your life, if it gets so much better than it has ever been before, ever, that you can't handle it, that you don't deserve it, that you aren't worthy of it? Do you know that for sure, or is that somebody else's idea? Because I'll bet you can. Our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our spiritual body, our emotional body, our mental body, all have a way of relaxing into ease and grace and joy and love, just naturally. How many of you have ever been around a small baby? Okay. Typically, now there are exceptions, but typically, when you put a small baby in a warm bassinet, they just go, That's what it's like. That's what being open to receive is like. It doesn't take work. It isn't hard. It does take awareness. So my homework for you this week, before I share something special I want to read to you, my homework for you this week is to practice going, let life in. Let good in. Let love in. Let light in. Let ease in. Let wisdom in. Let comfort in. For those of you who read the newsletter this week, you have already read this possibly. There is, to me, it is so beautiful and so perfectly suited to what it is that we're talking about today. I wanted to make absolutely sure that you all heard it. It's by Lawrence DeLucia, and its title is Service. The divine poured itself into the infinite in a reflecting pond and laughed. So it sprinkled stars, dreams, and people. To the stars it said, be. To the people it said, build. To the dreams it said, dance. To the people it called some to write. It called some to heal. It called some to play. Others it calls to kneel. Accept everything, give everything, cradle the poor and lost, kiss the tear of suffering from a face. Take a hand in darkness and sing of grace. There is no higher calling than to know the truth. For many are called, and few answer. You answered. The divine saw your compassion and said, you are my heart. And so it is.